guys, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. Just a quick one before we continue. Whilst making this video, obviously I've been doing a lot of cutting and drilling. I couldn't find my charger for my drill, but I managed to borrow a drill off someone. It took a long time to do all the cutting because of my neck, which is called vibrations and stuff. So I've only been able to do a bit of cutting and having to stop for a long time. But during this whole thing, as I came to make this video, basically the phone that I used to make all these videos on, the storage on it corrupted, and I had to reset to default. It's not a bad thing, but because obviously the phone's going to work a bit quicker now. But I lost all of the footage on all the cutting and drilling and stuff that I've already done, and I've also, you know, it's my old phone, so there's a lot of my kids growing up and stuff that I've kind of lost through this storage getting corrupted. That being said though, we do have some stuff to get on with. Shall we start with, I'll start with this like little sort of cutting wheel graveyard that I've got here. Now, a few of them did explode, admittedly, a few of them did explode, but so you get an idea. I was taking them down to like this size, and they start off like this. So yeah, I probably went a little bit too far with the wheels and stuff. Some of them really exploded. I had about 6 or 8 discs that just literally exploded while I was cutting. A lot of them would catch. I will say this now, it's a lot easier to cut through metal that hasn't already got holes set in it. If you're cutting through things that are slotted and stuff, oh, it catches and fucking rips the wheel. But saying that, this is what is left of those 2 cases. This is all the offcuts, this is what's left of the 2 cases. Moving forward, what we are going to be doing, we're going to have a look at the case now. I've got some fiberglassing and stuff for us to be getting on with, fiberglassing and filler. But before we do that, I want to panel test it. Basically, I want to fit all the panels to it, make sure everything fits before I completely seal it in with fiberglass and filler. And it'll give you a chance to see where we're up to. So I'll get the case now and I will go through what I've done and where we're up to. And then we'll make sure all the panels fit. So I've not done this yet, so I'm going to do it the first time with you guys. So the stuff might not fit. But let's find out, eh? So far guys, we have this. This is the case so far. Let me just pop this off here and I'll take you through what we've got. Right, so all the cutting that I've done, I've obviously opened up this so there's no restriction for the this will take 2 120mm fans here. I have cut and sunk this in, so basically this will take a 240 radiator, toolless, so it just sinks into it. Up here, I've obviously opened this up so that there'll be no restrictions, but also you'll see that I've tilted this. We're going to do some fiberglassing and stuff to shape this up. I've cut out the back here. Obviously this is one of the entries for the power supplies. So round the back we've got this infinity case that I've basically, anyone that watched the previous video, this panel here is the bottom of that infinity case. So what I've done is I've put the motherboard tray in there, it's in upside down. I've given spot for a PCIe for the IO, pretty sure that's in the right place. This is solid. You'll see here, this is just to catch the top lip of the graphics card when it slots in. This space down here is spaced out for 3 80mm fans. This is obviously the part of the top panel from the original case. This piece up here at the top, it was obviously a 120 rail, but basically I've shrunk it down so that this middle row here is 80mm, and then if you add this row on, this back row, it's like 90mm, and then you'll notice I've cut a couple of slots out the top here. They are so, even though I have added space in here for hard drives and SSDs and stuff down this side, I cut the back out of this so that I can literally mount a hard drive up here. We've obviously got the front USB for the main system here, the USB for this one's going to be on here. We'll see what happens with that when we try the panels after. Now, anyone that's seen the little comment saying that I'm getting somewhere, everything was sort of leaning against each other. You'll see there's some holes cut in here. That's because this case is going to be fitted with water cooling. You'll see how that works when we get past the paint and the fiberglassing. So what we're going to do is we're going to be fiberglassing this. We're going to be fiberglassing that end together, smoothing it off, giving it some filler and stuff, give it some shape. But so you guys can see what's sort of going on. So we've got the main system, the graphics card's going to be like this. This system, graphics card's going to be up on the side here. We've got space for 2 power supplies here. Now this bottom power supply, I've left it so that you can either take it in through this hole here and then slide it down and drop it. You can take it in through the top here, or if you want to, you can literally go through that motherboard tray there. So before the motherboard goes in, that will work. For the top power supply, what I've done is from the old case, I basically cut this around out of the power supply. We've got you can see there's a screw top and bottom here. And basically what this is then going to do, I'll be able to screw this onto the power supply, and then literally it just slots in. Look. See that? Perfect. Just slots in, the screw top and bottom, and then that will mount the power supplies in there. So yeah, that's where we're up to now. Should we see how it looks with the panels on? Just quickly before we get on to trying the panels, for those that are like, oh my god, you're going to choke those power supplies. If you have a look, both the power supplies are going to be facing this way, both fans facing this way. Now if you look all the way down, I've got about an inch gap all the way around. I've also put my hand down there. There's also that all the way around on the bottom there. This top here is also going to have a lot of breathing space. Also, as a secondary, if you look here, I've added some height to this back tray, this motherboard tray, so it'll stand the motherboard slightly off, which means these 3 80mm fans will also feed air up and behind the motherboard. So don't think that I have not thought about making sure that those 2 power supplies in there can breathe, because I really have. The whole thing, like I said, it's open all the way around, like all the way around. I'll put my hand down here so you can see, but it's open all the way around and all the way up this side, and then like this here is going to be meshed as well, so it's going to have plenty of breathing for the power supplies. Right, let's get to the panels, shall we? Right guys, the first thing that we're going to have to try and fit is this thing on here. For that, I'm going to have to take off this back hard drive tray. Obviously you've all seen this from the first video. This is the front USB that corresponds with this panel here. But what I did is to give a sort of look and not have this big ugly thing here. If you see, I've got these standoffs here, there for a reason, to help hold things off. And what I've done is I've cut the back panel. This is the back panel of the old case. I've cut this to shape. So what this should do now is I should be able to line these holes up, and hopefully this will look quite nice and look somewhat professional. That's what the aim is. That's the aim. Look somewhat professional. Right. So let's see if we can get this thing fitted and screwed in and. Find out, won't we? Fat fingers and fiddly. Now for a 1 in the top, just get it finished off. Make sure that it's at least held up there in some way. I can see that I could probably get away with just the 1 screw up there, to be honest. But LTT screwdriver so that I've got fucking actual grip. But this will do. So that's how done. How's that looking, guys? How's it looking? Does it look professional? It kind of does. We'll put this back. We'll put the little friggin' stand off. Allow me to basically, with a cable tie, probably hide those cables quite nicely back there. Yeah. As I said, that hard drive tray is to cover up the back there, which does a pretty good job. So let's get these tempered panels on here, shall we? Get the side one first. And it'll give me an idea of what this thing's going to look like. And like I said, this is the first time I've tried these panels on, so you're seeing it, I'm seeing it for the first time with you guys. So that's panel one on. I'll probably keep that bit of a multicoloured strip down that side, just as posterity. Now this panel here, as you can see here, I've taped up here. That's because I'm going to use some paint remover to try and get this off, so that I can just have a nice clear black border like I've got on there, and also on the other panel. I am telling you now, this one's going to be a friggin' nightmare panel. We'll figure that out in a minute. I think the problem I'm having at the moment is that because this panel needs a strip cut off it. Hey guys, it's the next day. Just quickly, I've had my kids here, so it is what it is. But just quickly, I have trimmed this edge here, so now it fits. But I've over trimmed it, as you can see. It steps out. So I'll put this tape on here, so we're going to build that back up a bit with some fiberglass. Just quickly, it's clamped on, so it doesn't need to be super tough, but I'd like to fill that gap in a little bit before the paint. But I've put tape behind there so I can separate this from this panel here and from the glass. Also up here we've got this gap to fill in as well, so we're going to do some fiberglass in for that as well. I've done the same with this tape here, so that I can press this up against it so I can get a nice edge to where I want to be working to. I'm obviously going to mould that onto here and into the back there, and then obviously I've put this bit of steel here. This is the piece of steel that I'm going to be using to help build the fiberglass up around this before we filler it. So I'll get some structure to it. I've got some more steels to go in these gaps here, and then once we've done that, we will be this panel's coming off for all of this, and then we'll take this panel off, and then we're going to have to go in there and we're going to have to put some structure to that before we do the fillering on that as well. And then it'll be just fillering everything smooth. I might see if I can fiberglass this out, because I kind of cut it a bit short. If I could get that to be level with this, I think it would just look a lot neater. If not, I'm not fussed about it. I think once it's sanded down smooth, it'll look sick anyway. I'm really liking how it's coming along. Yeah. So yeah, should we get this in there and get this fiberglass done? Yeah. Right guys, here I am in the kitchen. I'm going to just do a bit of fiberglass. I'm going to get this bit here done. We're going to get this bit filled in here. I'm going to put a little extra on the edge of this because I overcut it, and I want to put the first sort of base around this top edge. We're going to probably do a little time lapse. Alright guys, that's all the fiberglassing done. It's getting kind of late, but we're going to get some fillering done now. I'm having to take big breaks because of my neck, but we'll time lapse some fillering now. Hopefully we'll get this top bit fillered. I'm going to put some in here. I've got a standoff in place that's just sort of holding that up so it comes in level here. I'm going to try and get this edge in here, get some filler on here, try and get this top bit done. Need a little on the edge of this and stuff. Just get this top bit done with some filler, and then we'll move on to getting this done. I can get the glass off then. I'm using the glass to keep it solid whilst I'm rubbing on it, you know. Right, time lapse. Okay guys, right, so that's the top sorted. We'll have a look at it after. What I want to do now is I want to take this panel off and we're going to secure and give this a coat, and that should do with the fabricating and then onto the photos tomorrow. We'll take this panel off now. I'm done with the top for now. I'm going to drop a bit. We're going to lie her on its back. I know it's a bit ugly under there, but let's be honest, I'm probably going to just paint that. I don't care, it's my case in it. Right, time lapse. Okay guys, I need to do some hoovering up. Holy shit, it's dusty in here. Anyways, in an endeavour to get a video out to you guys, and I feel like the fabrication is done. It's all just sort of paint prep and stuff now. Should we go over finally go over all the fabrication that's happened to the case, and then I'll close it up. Right, so I've cut out here, so these two 120mm fans will be able to feed the graphics card that's going to be above them. This here has been cut and sunk, so a 240mm radiator just drops straight in there. Let me grab one and I'll show you. So this bit here is like literally dropped to fit a 240mm radiator. So this should just go in and drop straight in like that. That's literally going to fit a 2mm, plus it drops it in a little bit, so it takes a bit of the thickness of the radiator. Plus it's also toolless now, it's literally be part of it. So that fits a 240mm fan radiator in there, nice and neatly. Up top here, obviously we've got this all moulded up, if you get a proper look at it. There's some pitting and stuff that'll get sorted with some more filler in the paint prep, but you get an idea of what's going on. Also, to show the thickness and that it works, I can pop this in here, and it also means that, can you see that sort of leaning away from the motherboard? That'll take the pressure off those top cables, so that's nice, and it fits. It'll angle the radiator, so he'll be able to see the fans better. Right, so that's around this side. It's all the cutting out and stuff. Obviously you already know about this cutting out. This has been raised up, so there's a bit of an angle to it. Gonna have all the power buttons for this system are gonna be back in on this top piece here. I've took them all out, and then all the power buttons for this system, you've already seen them on the thing. They're going to be here for the back system. We've got this. It needs another sort out the pitting and there's a little dip in the middle, but for the most part, it's pretty much there. Once it's painted, you won't even notice that it's not one piece. As we come around the back, obviously I've completely fabricated this back end. This is ready for 3 80mm fans. We can hold I'd say a two slot card. It can take a 3 slot card, but it's going to hold it quite close to the glass. And then obviously you've got this other motherboard over here. And then we've got space for 2 power supplies, one on top of each other down here. As you can see, there's literally breathing space all the way around. You'll see that I've done some fabricating here. I'll show you what that's for. So yeah, there is a couple of parts that I've had to do some fabricating on. I had to add a bit of fiberglass, see it on the edge here, just to make this fit and work well with here. So that's gonna sit in there and it'll be somewhat flush with the glass now, rather than show a bit of gap. So I'll put a bit of filler on there afterwards for paint prep, and that'll be perfect. And also, I obviously fabricated this lid. I've got holes drilled into the back so that these can be screwed straight in. But yeah, I've had to add a bit of fiberglass and a bit of filler just to get a nice front on there. That'll sand off nice for a paint job. But that's basically to fit here, and it should, as you can see, once I've got rubbers under these ends, I've got 2 rubbers to stick on these ends. So once they're under, as you can see, that fabrication that I've done there is nice. Right, so guys, yeah, thanks for coming. Let me know in the comments what you think so far of how everything's going. I will see you in the next one. It's paint. I promise you it will not be as long as this one, because we're pretty much almost there. Just need to do a bit more prep and then we'll get the primer on. I've got to do a load of hoovering, get rid of all this dust, and maybe my lungs, my arm, my leg, everything down this side is hurting, and yeah, I want to get a video out to you guys, so I'm gonna go edit this. So yeah, thanks for coming. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, which is paint. Well, there might be some videos in between, but I'll see you in the next one, guys. Love you, bye.